Have you ever looked at a massive global problem and you just thought, I'm just a farmer, what can I do about it? Hello, I am Marfasan Fahim, and today we're going to talk about some major climate problems that are causing some serious issues in our farming. We're going to try to find out some solution and how we can practice them. But first, let me introduce my friend. His name is Shakat Hussain and he is from Bangladesh. He's 25 years old. So generally, he helps his family to grow onion and rice on their own field.
So when we are discussing about this climate challenges, like how climate is changing, we found out two major problems, that is rising temperature and another is less rainfall. These two are quietly connected to each other, but these two has a highly effect on growing onion and rice. So let's talk about why we choose this challenge, because let's see how climate is changing in Bangladesh. So in average temperature has increased around 0.8 degrees Celsius from 1971 to 2020, and the maximum temperature increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius since 1980. And if we talk about particularly about Rajshahi city where Shakwat was living, so we can see that Rajshahi's temperature has increased by around 0.013 degrees Celsius between 1981 to 2016. So we can see there is a highly increase of temperature in last 35 years. So why these challenges actually matters? There are several factors, but the three main factors is that economical impact, environmental impact, social impact. So suppose if you are a farmer and your crop yield reduce, your income will be decreased. So you will think that if you use a lot more chemical on the field, that you and you will think that you can get more crops, but gradually it leads us to environmental impact, because when you are using lot of chemicals on the field, it will decrease the soil it will decrease the soil health and reduce the soil organic matter and also lower the water retention capacity. And this environmental impact leads us to the social impact. How? Like if the soil loses its life day by day, it will be quite impossible for the next generation to rely on this land. So let's move on to our first case study, and it is called the system of rice intensification, the SRI method. So in our traditional method, we use a lot of water to grow rice. A lot of farmers thinks that we need flooded land to grow rice, but that causes a huge problem, because the water actually can't breathe in water when it's covered with a lot of water, and also it creates an environment for the bacteria to release more methane, and that is highly destructive for the environment. So what SRI method did is, actually this is designed to tackle all these problems like high water use, high cost, soil damage, and climate stress. So in this SRI method, we use young seedlings with wider space, and we try to control the irrigation of water so that we need to use much more water, and so that the soil can actually breathe, soil can actually take the water from the nature. And this result lead us to the very good result, that the crops has higher yield, less water use, lower cost, better drought resistant. For our second case study, that is while onion mulching, and we collected it from the website. So onion mulching is a simple agricultural practice where the organic materials are spread over the soil around the onion plants. The main goal is to protect the soil, improve growing condition for the onions. So you just can use organic materials. You can also have, if you have the budget, you can also use a kind of poly that is covered the onion. And in this video, there is a brief introduction how we use this. And if you have the time, it is on. I will give the link on the description. You can watch it to know about more about mulching. So in this onion mulching, we tackle the problems of sustained thermal stress, rapid evaporation loss, stopped bulb yields, high fertilizer deficiency. Practice we used, it is very simple. We use crops waste or vegetable waste or any organic waste, and you can also use poly if you have the higher budget or if you see the result is good or not. And this practice use lead us to a very good result. That is, we can find out that it has the lower root temperature, enhanced moisturizer retention, inform bulb growth, reduce irrigation needs, and also high heat resilience. So the practical ideas for the farmer. Here are four simple practical ideas that every farmer can use, and it is very useful and easy to use. So use mulching. You can use any kind of waste, your crop waste, your dry leaves. Just make sure it is dry and it is not that it has the root that it can grow again. So make sure it is dry. And we can produce the natural compost like from cow manure, from crop waste, and from household organic waste. And the practice we can also use that one is crop rotation. Sometimes we can grow rice, then we can use we can grow mustard or lentil, then we can grow onion. But sometimes you need to give a break to the soil. Sometimes you just use the compost and give the soil time to regain its power, so that the next crop you are harvesting, it will be have good result. And after all this practice, when you are trying to practice this, you should start with a small trial plot. You can't risk it all, so use your 5 or 10% of your land, and then see if it suits our soils or environment. Actually, so it's after all this learning, the case study, the discussion, the thing is, actually, when we're trying to find out the solution, sometimes our solution become the bigger problem. So we need to find out that what kind of solution actually works for us, what kind of practice actually works in our environment. Maybe it depends on our soil, maybe depends on our environment. So we need to choose a very particular solution that we can actually practice, because it takes a lot of time. So we can't just waste our time on depending on a wrong practice. So at last we can say low carbon living and climate resilience don't require expensive high-tech infrastructure. By using simple smart techniques like recycling agriculture waste for mulch, changing how we irrigate, we can protect our environment, secure our food supply, and support farming families all at the same time. So that's my time. Thanks everyone.